Welcome back to my channel. Today we had lots of twists and turns and after like after a while after lunch we just basically give up and we were totally spontaneous and we ended up in King's Cross. If you don't know London, if you don't know England, UK, I can tell you that King's Cross, St Pancras, is basically a central. This is where you go if you wanna travel to Paris, France. There is a train called Eurostar. It takes you about 2 hours to get to Paris. This is much better than any flight. You can go to Brussels as well, because what is the central for the European Union. It's famous for having here they have here the Harry Potter platform as well. There was like a massive queue to get there and take pictures with it. And I can go on and on and on about the area which went through a massive transformation in the last few years. For example, next to it is the British Library. Right now they're having an exhibition about the medieval women and their letters and diaries. But it's not always, high literature and all that. I was in the British Library when they had a vampire night with the actors reading up from the Anne Rice books, Interview with the Vampire, and one of the latest one at the time. We simply wanted to have a coffee, and at King's Cross station, because it's a train station, because it's a central, you have all the coffee bar chains there. We decided to go with Paul. It's a French franchise. I was with a small group of people. They like the coffee. They said it's not bitter. It doesn't really have that bitterness that usually coffees have, and it was not strong at all, so they liked it. I have a completely different taste in coffee, but my team, they liked it, so I'm happy as well. We had croissant with it and something that they call here pane raisin, and here they call it raisin escargot. And I had my almond croissant. Whenever in a coffee bar has almond croissant, I usually go for that. It was after lunch, so they didn't have much croissant naturally, but they had even less after we finished ordering. Every single coffee bar at King's Cross and Pancras was completely full. We were lucky with this Paul coffee because they had 2 tables empty, so we immediately jumped on one. After we settled, taking off their jackets because it's still winter time. This is February. We settled. I walked around because I'd like to see, the whole interior design of the place. And I noticed that in the fridge, apart from the usual sandwiches and soft drinks, they have the cakes. When I got in, usually when you go to a pool, next to the till you have everything, including the cakes. These can be presented in slices or as a whole cake. And here at King's Cross St Pancras, they actually have it away from the till. It's in the fridge, and for some reason they put it in takeaway boxes. These takeaway boxes have a little window, so you can peek in. You can see what kind of piece of cake you are purchasing. Usually it's £4, £5 per piece. That was the first time I saw this. I don't really like it, It's much better if it's behind the glass next to the till, so you can have a little conversation. Depending on the queue behind you, you can have a little conversation about which cake is the best and all that stuff. When they bring the cake away from the till and they put it on the other side of the coffee bar and they put it in little takeaway boxes, it's kind of feel that you are like shopping in some sort of shopping center or something. And immediately this £4 5 pounds feels too much. Everybody, apart from us, were from France because of the train, the Eurostar going to Paris in 2 hours. And actually, it stops in many, many places as well. So, not exactly everyone going to Paris because it stops in different cities. It stops at Lille as well. But everybody was talking in French, in different dialects. At some point, I wanted to learn French, and I paid lots of money for a private tutor to help me out with this. But today in the coffee poll, I did not understand anything at all what they were talking around us. From when we were where we were sitting in the coffee bar, you could see the piano. This piano is very famous, actually, social media famous, because many people, recording videos of people playing this free piano that just left there without any any protection. And why we were there were at least 10 people playing. Actually, we chose our seat in a way that we don't hear it because when we entered Paul, the coffee bar, someone was playing Bartok. He's a Hungarian composer, and well, I don't say it's bad. I'm just saying that you need to be in a certain mood to enjoy Bartok, Bela Bartok. So I was looking at I was sitting in a way that I could have a clear view of the guy who was playing the piano, playing Bartok, and the others, they were, having their backs to the piano, and they were always asking me, is the train going yet? Meaning that the person who's playing the piano, probably there is a high probability that he is a passenger, he has a train ticket, and basically he's just passing a time. That's why he's playing on the piano. That's why the question, is his train is going yet? And I said, no, his train is not going yet. He was actually playing so long, maybe 15 minutes, and then he was gone. So I told the others, yes, his train is going now. And then someone else took over, playing something very, very soft, very, very slow. So we basically couldn't hear it at all. And then the next person coming after him were playing something very, groovy. So what you could see that people gathered around the piano, maybe 20, 30 people, and a couple of them, they were even dancing. So these are typical 2025 train station scenes we got there today. I always stop and admire the building. Most buildings are basically repurposed. Here, when you look up, when you are in a Paul Coffee, you look up, you see these arches. These are bare walls and ceilings. You see the bricks. I absolutely love this kind of architecture. Most of the people occupying the seats in the coffee bar, they were families, young couples with lots of children, and there was a young couple with one child that looked so young. I said that basically that child was born 5 minutes ago when they ordered the coffee. They had two big backpacks, and one of them was basically only for the baby. Lots of toys. I felt today they had a very, very good vibe. Everyone had a good mood, even though they were very tired. We used to go to France because it's very close, 2 hours by train. We used to go there quite often. There was a year we went there for like 5 times. We were there in Paris last time when we went to the Disneyland 2022, and yeah, that was the last time. Now obviously there is so many things happening, which is extremely important, I think, for me as well personally. That is the Notre Dame. It burned down in 2019, and if you know the state of not just France, the whole European Union, the whole continent, then you would consider it a miracle that they could rebuild it now in 2024 in order to have their Christmas mass there. So in couple of months before summer, we definitely going back just to see the new Notre Dame. And just being here in this coffee bar at the train station called Paul, we decided that we're going back to France, and it's not gonna be a day, it's gonna be a much, much longer time. Because let me tell you this, 2025 is the very first year in my life where I entered the year without having a travel plan. That never happened before. And now it has been decided where we gonna spend most of our time when we leave the UK for holiday.